Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another stock market update. So first things first, let's go through the S&P 500. So you can see that the S&P 500 is down about 1.3 or 1.4% since its peak. So it's not down by a lot. What we're seeing here is a rotation out of big tech and into other industries, which we will go through in a little bit. But as to whether this can fall further, the answer is always a definite yes. But it's not going to fall like 50%. I think we will have a mild correction. I would agree with a lot of analysts that we might have a 10% correction since the peak. Let's see how far that is. Okay, well, 5% would be around 523. So that would be the old peak where, in the past, that was something that the S&P could not break out of. So if you're looking at 10% right now, that would be a support level in the past. That would be about 495. I would say I don't think this is likely, but we will see. The reason for this is, that I don't think this is likely is because a lot of the companies right now still have relatively robust earnings. So we'll see how this happens. I really don't think this is a possibility, but we'll see how far the S&P 500 can fall. So what is actually happening with the S&P 500 right now is a very clear pattern. If you go into Finviz, you'll notice that from the this heat chart, a lot of money is flowing out of the semiconductors from something like Amazon and Avgo and into something like energy. So we have ExxonMobil here, and then interestingly, healthcare and financials as well. So if you are still invested in SoFi, this could bode very well. And yeah, so that seems good. So we are seeing a very, very clear rotation from big tech. So the next thing is also that fear and greed index sitting at 40. So once again, I don't really think you should really worry about this. The only thing I will worry about is when NVDA has a very, very bad earnings. And I'm going to go through, my thoughts on that with Amazon as well. So, my thoughts on this fear and greed index, I've been looking at this for a very long time. The market stays in the greed longer than it stays in the fear. So typically, when the market is in the fear zone, that is when it consolidates. And well, so far, because the market has been good, we haven't seen an extreme, dip yet. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I'm just saying, it's not likely right now. So looking at NVIDIA, it has been down quite a lot. Let's see here. This is down about, I would say 20% since its peak. And then right now, today, we're actually having some sort of buy up here, about 2% in the pre-market. So it suggests that this could be, one of these consolidation areas. What we might very well see is that people are going to try to price in some stuff here, and we'll see how far they price it in. Honestly, I don't know, because a lot of this is going to be from large hedge funds, so they are going to value NVIDIA. I would say they're going to value it to perfection. And then we have earnings for NVIDIA in 50 days. So I think this is a window for you to think about whether the market is going to crash or not. If we start seeing something like cloud computing demand move down severely, then companies like Amazon are not going to buy their chips. And when we see that in their earnings in 30 days, which is before Nvidia's, then that would be a very, very huge warning sign. You can also look at Microsoft Azure data revenue, and then we have Google GCP revenue data as well. So look at that if you're worried about Nvidia's earnings. If not, if those cloud computing numbers are good, then people are still going to buy NVIDIA chips. And I would say they're likely going to sustain this, but it's also possible, that they have a bad earnings, and that could also tank the market. So I'm not necessarily opposed to that. I just think it's at this point very, very unlikely until we get more data. So I've been saying, the AI hardware investment is going to move into AI software investment, and Snowflake is coming out with an LLM, right? And that the thing, the bullish point on the LLM, as I'm trying to explain myself, is that it's going to be approved for business use. So if that happens, okay, Snowflake might have a moat on that, because we are not sure if ChatGPT is necessarily allowed in all institutions. They might start to ban ChatGPT. I'm not sure. I don't think that'll happen. But if Snowflake manages to give out a approved LLM, right, something that is widely distributed to a lot of businesses, then they might be able to gain a lot of revenue from that. But I would also like you guys to watch this video on this is Cash Flow Chronicles episode season 2 episode 7 with Chris, Roy, and Matty Capital, or Matt Farley, I think it was his name. This explains a lot about Snowflake, and there is a lot of competition in the space. Mainly, they are competing with a non-public company. So when that happens, it's going to be very, very competitive. And holding Snowflake at this point is going to be very risky here. So I'm going to go through how I am playing this. And once again, I don't think you should necessarily follow me. You should do your own stuff. Okay. So I have a 10% stop loss on Snowflake. Okay. I'm just saying, I might not have the the I might not have the right research on Snowflake. I've been looking at Palantir for a long time, and my reason for Snowflake was that it was technically oversold. But at this point, I said this a lot of times, technicals don't matter if the fundamentals don't matter. Maybe I just don't understand Snowflake as well. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not willing to put in too much time on Snowflake. So that's why it was always a very small position. And I have a 10% stop loss working here. So I'm gonna lose let's say I'm gonna lose about, I would say, 40 or 50 bucks here. So it's not that much. So yeah, so that's why I'm playing Snowflake. As for the other stocks, I went through that in the last video. I don't think, there's nothing that changed here. So this is going to be a pretty short stock market update. Don't have anything much for you guys. As always, I've been working. I honestly, dude, working sucks, but gotta get that dough. And yeah, this is life. So I'm going to be pretty busy. I'm not going to be posting YouTube videos as much, but I'm going to be honest, I've thought about this. I don't want to end the channel. I love making YouTube videos, and I love, putting my notes out on YouTube. So I'm going to keep doing this, but at a lower, regularity. So I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep trying to grow this channel, but just know that, I might not always be here if the market suddenly crashes and I'm not here, guys. I'm still alive. Okay. I'm still moving. I'm not going to sell everything in a correction. I would say, 10% correction. That's fine. If we have a war, then everything's fucked. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe. Love you guys. Honestly, I love you guys. And see you in the next one.